Hey there, friend, it's the end of the day. Put the worries and the stress away. Light a candle, grab your drink, let's slow it down. Take time to think, it's wind down time. Do what feels right. Read a little book or journal by candlelight. Sip some wine or tea or just breathe deep. We're here to vibe, not lose sleep. So welcome in, you've made it through. This little space is just for you. Whatever you need, you're not alone. It's one down time, let's feel at home.
Hello. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. It's a little bit early. I'm not used to sprinting at this time. It's about 2 hours earlier than the time that I normally would be sprinting, but you guys already know what time it is. If you can't tell by the background, if you can't tell by like the name of the sprint, like the title that I gave this sprint, if you can't tell by my shirt, what is happening today? Today is the day that a lot of us have been waiting for a long time. It is the premiere of the final season of Stranger Things. So that is why we are starting early today, because the premiere starts at 8. So I'm planning on being done with sprints before that so that I can go watch the show when it starts. So I don't know if anybody else is going to be partaking in the premiere this evening, but if you are my people. If you're not, that's okay. Maybe one day you'll join us. You know, you'll come over to the dark side and join us. But until then, it is what it is. I am technically reading Good Omens for the third time because I've tried to read this book twice and DNF'd it both times, like soft DNF'd it just because I just didn't care about what was happening in the story, and also I wasn't understanding what was happening. I think that's really what it was. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was more so that I wasn't following what was happening. And so because I wasn't following, therefore I didn't care because I didn't understand what I was reading. So that is technically what I'm reading, but I honestly don't feel like reading. I haven't read anything probably since, I want to say Monday. Was it Monday? Wait, what day is it? Today's Wednesday? Just kidding. Okay, probably not Monday. I don't know what day it was, actually. I don't know. Now I need to look at my story graph because I don't remember when. I know what the last book was that I read. I finished None Shall Sleep, but I don't remember what day that was. Let's see. Did I mark it down? They've done so many like revamps to like makeovers to Storygraph that I like can never find. Wait, did I not mark it as finished? Hold on. Did I not say did I never mark it as even being read? I'm so confused. What's happening right now? I could have swore that I added this. I never added None Shall Sleep to my Storygraph. That's crazy. Okay. So I have no idea what day I finished it. The point is, I haven't read a book. I haven't even picked up a book in a few days. And I don't even feel like reading. My brain is just Stranger Things. Like, I can't think about anything else. But I'm going to attempt to read Good Omens because this is on my self-destruct list and I need to get it read before the end of the year. I also need to read Dance of Thieves, but I've been trying to get Dance of Thieves for like a week now, and it just keeps saying available soon on Libby. So I don't know what soon is, but it's been at least a week, and it has not come through yet. So those are the 2 books that I have left on my self-destruct list that I need to finish before the end of the year. So I guess Good Omens will have to go first because I could actually get my hands on that for now. So yeah, that is what I'm reading. I'm not drinking any wine just because it's a little early. It's only 4:00, you know. I want to at least wait until 5, you know. I'll probably wait until like 6, but probably going to do more of my cider. I have wine. I just don't want to crack open a brand new bottle of wine tonight. Yeah, I'd rather not. especially not what I have, because what I have is like kind of like nice and like fancy. And so I'd rather save that for like a special occasion, not like Stranger Things premiere special occasion, you know what I mean? So probably gonna stick with my spiked cider this evening. But yeah, that is the plan. Let's check in with you guys and see what y'all are up to. We're probably going to be a little more sprint heavy than chat heavy. I mean, it's up to you guys in terms of how much we chat, but I'm assuming that this will probably be a little more sprint heavy and less chat heavy, just because this is not the time that I normally would be sprinting. So I'm not expecting that all the normal people that would be here will be here, just because they're probably working and stuff like that. I just so happen to get off early today. Because it's the day before the holiday, so they told us we could leave 3 hours early. So my weekend has already started. I'm super excited about it. But let's see how y'all are doing. Hello, Mel. How are you? Welcome in. Hello, Lexi. Hello to Lexi. Look at that shirt. You already know. It's game time, okay? It's game time. I'm so ready for this. I'm like ready. I'm like on the edge of my seat. Like I have a lot of feelings. I need it to be 8 o'clock. I need it to be 8 o'clock right now. Hello to Mel. It's the Stranger Things countdown over here. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Gonna be listening to House of Marion by JL because I have some tidying up to do. Okay, nice. Let's see. Is my computer screen tilted? Maybe it's like not on a weird. I don't know. For some reason, it looked like everything was like shifted sideways. I was like, the heck? Let's see. Did you finish The Devils, Mel? I think that's what you were reading the last time. Let us know if you finished that. Let's see. House of Marion. Excellent. We have Jamie. Hello, Jamie. How are you? Hello to Jamie. Now I need your thoughts on None Shall Sleep. Okay, so I think I might have talked about this last week. Did I finish it on sprints last week? Maybe I finished None Shall Sleep on sprints last week. I can't remember when I finished it. But, or maybe it was on Friday or something. I don't know. But it was good. I did enjoy it. I think the ending is what I didn't really care for. It was definitely like a Tuesday or a Thursday or something when I finished this book, because I remember I was listening to the end, like that final fight scene that happens in the, what is it, like a mental hospital or something that the guy is in, and they're like fighting or whatever. I remember listening to that scene as I was getting off the train to go to work. So I'm pretty sure that was not this week. I'm pretty sure that was sometime last week. It probably was Thursday. I think I went to the office on Thursday last week. So that's probably when I finished it. But anyway, I think that last fight scene was uninteresting to me. I feel like we could have done without the fight scene. But I will say that everything that led up to that, I think the dynamics of the characters, I thought there was going to be like a stronger romance between I forget what the two main characters' names are, but there was his name like Travis or something, and I forget what the girl's name is. I thought there was going to be more of a romance there. I'm not mad that there wasn't, because one of the things that I find to be a little bit cringy and irritating is when I'm reading like a suspense or a thriller or a mystery, and it's like I want to focus on like, let's figure out what's going on, and then they like throw in these random, we don't have time for this romance scenes. So I was glad that we didn't get too many of those. I feel like the scenes that we got that were kind of like that weren't really romancy. It was just them kind of like talking about their past and their trauma, and then just kind of like bonding and like becoming like seeing their relationship and their friendship grow more so than like this, you know, unnecessarily physical chemistry romance thing happening that nobody asked for. So I do appreciate that the author, you know, didn't stray too far into the romance territory. But I thought the way that the story kind of developed was good. It was interesting. I think the pacing was really good. I will say, I think the one thing that I wish the author would have done, this is just a personal preference. This isn't necessarily like anything against authors who don't write this way. I just find that I get more enjoyment out of thrillers and suspense and stuff like that and mysteries when the killer, if you will, is someone that you have met in some way or come across at some point in the story, and then you get that plot twist, that reveal that it's like, oh, it was this person all along. I think those stories are more fun, in my opinion, because it's like it was right there under your nose the whole time. But with this kind of story, that wasn't how it was set up. And so by the time you did finally get introduced, it was very obvious that it's like, okay, it's this person because they weren't there the whole time, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I wish it was somebody else. I'll just put it that way. I really was hoping that it was it was like the police. Was he like the chief or the commissioner or something like that? I forget what his name was, but I wanted it to be him. I think it would have been more interesting if he was like in on it or something, but you know, I was fine with who it did turn out to be. I just think it would have been more interesting if it was someone that was like a little more like closely tied to the story throughout the story and not someone that you got introduced to like later, if that makes sense. So overall, I think I probably gave it like a 4 or like a 3.75, something like that. It wasn't bad by any means. And I'm curious now because that's the first book in the series, but the way that it ended, I'm confused how there are 2 more books because I think this is a trilogy, right? I'm confused how there are 2 more books. Like what next? Like I thought it's over. Like what are we doing? So now I'm like slightly even more intrigued to pick up the next book to figure out what is the next one even about. Is it like the same people or is it like a completely different story that's just set in the same universe? Like I have so many questions now. So that's my little rant on None Shall Sleep. Need to get a cup of coffee before I do anything. Fair enough. Not reading either. Finishing up my rewatch of Stranger Things. Yes, do it. I was watching a bunch of they've been doing like press junkets and stuff all week. So I was watching a bunch of videos of like different interviews that the cast has done. And it's so funny like watching them now because they're so much older than they were when the show first started. And it's like if you watch like the end of season 4, right? Watch the whole season 4, and then right after you finish season 4, go back and watch the first episode of season 1, and you're just like, how are these even the same people? Like they were just so tiny. They were like teeny little babies in the first season, and now they're like full on adults. I was just talking about this last night. They're full on adults. Like Millie, like 11, is married and is a mother, and I'm just like, how? How did this happen? She was literally a baby yesterday. How does she now she has a baby? Like, what do you mean? It's crazy like how grown up they are. Like, and just like watching when I was watching the shows, because when the show originally, aired, it was like years, like gaps and stuff or whatever. But when you watch it all the way through, it's actually kind of crazy the way that their like voices change and stuff like that. Like you watch like season 1 and they all had these little, high pitch, like pipsqueak voices. And then you get to season 3 and season 4 and then the bass drop. I'm like, wait a minute. Where did all this testosterone come from? Like, what is happening right now? It's crazy. It's so crazy. And I was wondering what they were going to do about the fact that they're getting older. Like, how is that going to play into the storyline? I was like, are they going to do some kind of time jump or something? But one of the press things that I was watching earlier today, from what they were saying in the interview, it doesn't sound like they're going to do a time jump. So I guess they're just going to be 23 playing like they're still 15, which is like, okay, sure. Actors do it all the time. It's just weird because we've watched them grow up. We've literally seen their physical evolution, them getting taller and, their hair changing. Like literally I was watching one of the interviews today and like Finn has facial hair. I was like, huh? Like, what are you doing with that? Get that out of here. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Reading Arch Nemesis by Marissa. I haven't heard of this. Hoping it's as good as... Oh, okay. I haven't read Renegades, but I have heard good things about it. Let me see. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Did you finish... Let me see. I have The Most Unusual Haunting of Edgar Lovejoy. Did you finish that? I also have that you were reading Good Material. Did you finish that? Maybe you did and I just forgot to take it off. I don't know. Let's see. Arch Nemesis. Oops. There we go. Hello, Jen. Reading I don't know if this is 4,321 or 4,321. I'm not sure how you say this, but I've never heard of this book. The chunker, pretty dense, but I'm liking the story. Ooh, what is it about? Or not even what is it about? What genre is this? I can't even tell based on the title. Like I can't. Is it a sci-fi? Like I literally have no idea. I've never heard of this. Tell us more. Yes, I am definitely on earlier than usual, but it's because I'm trying to be out of here by 8 o'clock. I told my mom earlier, I was like, I will be unavailable after 8 p.m. So if you need me, don't. Just don't need me. Hello to Mel. Hello to Jenna. Oh, to Jen. Oh, yeah, to Jen. Hello to Vanessa. Hello to Mel. Force, okay. Had a good time with it. Looking forward to reading book 2. Nice. Okay. Let me update. Let's see. Take that off. Perfect. Awesome. Hello, Gigi. Hope everyone has a beautiful Thanksgiving. Yes. Currently reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Love it so far. I love that you are loving it. That is the correct response to this book. Let's update that Gigi is reading one of the best books ever written. Gigi, did you finish Oathbringer? And also, did you finish The Widow? Because I had that you were reading both of those. See, Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Perfect. Hello to Gigi. Hello to Mel. Hello, Glenda. How are you? Welcome in. Understand your feelings around the ending fight scene, but there's a reason for the FMC making those final decisions in the program that will play into the... Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Hello to Glenda. Everyone's saying hello to Glenda. Hello, Bree. Working for 2 more hours, but I'll be lurking. Excellent. Hope work goes smoothly. Hopefully it's an easy day because it's the day before the holiday, so hopefully there won't be too much going on, you know? Bianca on PLL. Yeah, I know. she was like in her 30s playing teenagers forever. I'm just like, I love Bianca Lawson. Like, she's great. I think that I feel like she's such an underrated actress because she's one of those people that's like in everything, but she's never like the main character in the stuff that she's in. But she's so good, like all the roles, and like her roles are very like vast. Like she's done so many different types of characters and stuff too. She's so underrated. But yeah, you're right. She was like 30 something playing like she was like 15. I was like, girl. But she looked good. Like, I'm like, okay, you can't tell. Like, if I hadn't looked her up on Google, I would have never known that. You know what I mean? I guess I technically would have known that because she was in Sister Sister. So it's like, if you think about how old Tia and Tamara are definitely older than the girls that were on Pretty Little Liars. You know what I mean? So it's like, how are you still in high school, Bianca? Yeah. Hello? Do you even have to ask? I noticed the show. I was like, do you have to ask? Of course. Gave the most unusual haunting. Okay, 4 stars. Super cute LGBTQ story with some Halloween elements, but I feel like an older middle schooler. Okay. Fair enough. I have good material, 3.75. Just couldn't so much capital jump without being a bit irritated. That's just a personal thing. That's fair. Hello to Bree. Not done with Oathbringer. Okay. Oh, wow. The Widow gave 5 stars. It was good and also the first of Grisham to write a book. Who done it? Okay. Nice. Let me update that you finished The Widow. And then I also need to update that Lexi finished those other 2 books. Let's see. Good material. Good Lovejoy. There we go. Is an answer. Yeah, for real. Like, how does she still look so young? Can't believe she's exactly. I don't. It's her genes. I don't know what's in her genes, but I want some. Bianca has secret she needs to share. Yep. Well, you know they say 2 can keep her secret as one of them is dead. So I'm assuming the other person who must know the secret must be dead. That's how she's living so long. It's a couple of actors that I feel like don't age. I'm just like, it's not just like, oh, they're getting Botox. Like, it's not just, oh, they're getting filler, but it's like, they're not aging. Like, even people who like have Botox and stuff, you can still kind of see, you either can tell they have Botox, or you can still see them aging. They just still look really good for their age, if that makes sense. But there are some people like Bianca who like don't age. And I'm just like, how do you look like this? Like, what are you doing? 4321. Literary fiction about a guy's life, but it's told as if it happened 4 different ways. Interesting. Okay. I like this concept. This sounds really cool. You'll have to keep me posted on how this plays out, whether or not you like it by the time you get to the end. That's interesting. I'm curious, when you say it's told 4 different ways, is it like different people's perspective, or is it from the same POV, just like 4 different versions of the same story? This is fascinating. Very intrigued by this. Also, did you finish Babylonia? Let us know. Someone could tell me she's still in her 20s and I wouldn't bat an eye. Agree. And maybe it's because like people who are younger like have started getting into makeup a lot younger. Like I was in Sephora. This is like a couple months ago. I was in Sephora and this 9-year-old was in there with her mom, or I'm assuming it was her mom. I don't really know. But she said something like, oh, like they have the concealer. I don't know what section she was in. I think she might have been over near like the Milk makeup products. If anybody's like familiar with like makeup and like cosmetic brands, I want to think she was over near like the Milk makeup stuff. She was like, oh, like this concealer. Like I think her mom was like taking her shopping and was like letting her like get stuff or whatever. Maybe it was like her birthday or something. I don't know. But she's like, oh, I need this concealer. Her mother was like, you're 9. You don't need concealer. I thought that was so funny. But it's crazy, right? That these like little kids are into stuff like concealer and foundation and, you know, powder. I'm just like, when I was 9 years old, I was barely thinking about nail polish, let alone thinking about makeup. I didn't even try to put on makeup until I was like 13 or 14 when I got to high school. And even then, the only thing I was doing was eyeshadow. Like I didn't know anything about makeup for real until I was probably like 20, 21. So it's like the fact that these kids are getting into makeup so young, it's like they look a lot older than they really are, which, you know what? I'm not mad at it, because as I get older, it'll make me look young because they look old. 4 different yes, I'm like, I need to know more about this. Okay, same POV. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, is it like, are they in parallel universes? Like, yeah, I'm intrigued by this. Really good, 4.5. Okay, love that it was based on a real historical person. Cool, nice. Let's update that you finished that. Cool. Couldn't imagine taking my daughter into Sephora when she's 9. That's a good point. I'm like, that was your first mistake. Why did you bring this little girl to Sephora? Like, what are you doing here? First of all, Sephora is expensive. If I'm going to buy like skincare products or makeup or something for a 9-year-old, I'm not spending Sephora price, you know, I'm not paying Sephora prices for a 9-year-old. So that was probably her mom's mistake for even bringing her into the store in the first place. But it was just so funny because she was like, oh, I need this concealer. I remember when she said it, I like turned around like, what? And then her mother was like, you're 9. You do not need concealer. She's only 2 now, so I still have some time. Yeah. I mean, I guess they start early nowadays. I think it's probably TikTok and everything that's trending and viral, whatever. I think that's how the kids are getting exposed to this stuff so early and picking up an interest in this stuff so early. I blame social media. Have you read the entire? Yes, I have. It was really good. The 3rd book is questionable, but there are some people that love it. I'm not one of those people, but there are people that love it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, the first 2 books, the first book is the best book. The second book is good. The novella is also really cute. The 3rd book is not bad. It's just different. It just feels like everything that you've learned about the characters up to that point, just throw it all away. Just forget that you know anything about them, because everything they're about to do in this 3rd book is completely out of character. I'm glad I have all boys. Yeah, I don't know what the boys are into. I have no idea. I don't have like nephews or anything like that, so I don't know what the boys are picking up off of social media. But the girls, they're all into the skincare. They like want to exfoliate. I'm just like, you're 7. What are you exfoliating? You don't have anything to exfoliate. Like, you barely exist. But all right, we have reached the end of the comments. I am going to get our timer pulled up. I'm pretty sure, I think the book that's on here is wrong. So let me see. Can I switch to this one? See what happens. Okay, that works. Because I have this one, but I'm not actually reading Phantom. That was what I was reading last time. So we'll just remove that. And I guess it would be helpful if I shared my screen so you guys can see the timer. I think it's this one, right? Actually, I take it back. Let's do this one. Yeah. Because I'm going to play Catan. So I will share my screen to show the game instead. Share. Where's the... There we go. Excellent. There we are. Okie dokie. And then let me change the banner so that it says, oops, so that it says 30 instead of 50. Oop. Save. Perfect. All right. I will see everyone back here in an hour. Happy reading or doing whatever it is you're going to be doing for the next hour. And we are back. How did everyone do? How did that sprint go for you guys? I am still in the middle of this game. This game feels like it's never ending. I feel like we have not been making good progress in this game, like at all. Somebody else already said, like, oh, this game is so boring. Like, yeah. Part of it is that, like, the numbers that need to roll aren't rolling. And the other part of it is that nobody wants to trade. So it's just like a big yawn. Oh, that's not working. I might just leave this game. I'm not using like my real account, so if it messes up my karma, I don't really care. But yeah, this is a boring round. I don't even know what to do. I guess I'll go this way. Actually, do I want to go this way? I don't want to go this way. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The numbers aren't rolling anyway. Who cares? But yeah, how did everyone do? I did listen to that. I did listen to the audio for Good Omens during that sprint. I don't remember where I left off. I think I was at like 3% or something when I first started. I was like 3% in. So now I'm 13% in. So I'm to about 10% of this during that time. I wasn't listening the whole time because at one point, like, I was on the phone with my mom, so I was doing some other things. But 10% still not bad in an hour. So I'll take it. Whoa. This is a crazy trade. This trade doesn't even make any sense. Actually, never mind. Because the only thing that they don't have is brick. And I don't have brick. So this is dumb. Anyway. How did everyone do? Let me see. Why is he taking so long to go? Bruh. And everybody's moving so slow too. That's another thing that makes this round like so boring. Is that everybody's moving so slow. Like everyone's taking forever. It's just like, hurry up. If you don't have any cards, just pass the dice. Ooh, okay. That was a good roll. Make a move. I suppose. I really want this round to be over. I'll let it be over. The agony. Oh, I should have went this way. I didn't think about that. I could have connected. That's fine. I was trying to get to this 8 so that I can use this. Hello, Cece. How are you? What are you up to today? How's it going? Oh my gosh, everyone's taking so long. Hurry up. I'm so impatient. I didn't read that spread. Talked to my hubby and cousin for a bit. Not a problem. Not a problem. I don't blame you for not reading. I feel like it's too early to read. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But it just feels too early to be reading. I guess just because I'm used to waiting until like later at night, like 6. Oh. I'm sad that I lost. I mean, I came in second, but it's fine. It is fine. Let me switch this back over. There we go. Bring that back up. Boom. Just finished an assignment for uni so I can relax and read now. Nice. What are you planning on reading? What are you planning on jumping into? Are you starting a new book? Are you continuing something that you were already reading? Let us know. I keep like looking at the clock, thinking looking at the clock is gonna make the time move faster. Cause I'm just like, is it 8 o'clock yet? I'm so excited. Where is the timer? I don't even know where I put it since I didn't use it for the last one. Oh, it's over here. Let me switch what screen I'm sharing. Do you guys have plans for the holidays? I do not have plans. I had them, but they have unfortunately not worked out. So I actually have no idea what I'm doing for the holiday this week, even though it's like tomorrow. Woke up early, Japan, have be at work in. Ooh, how much time do you have before you have to be to work? Or are you there already? Ate dinner. Ooh, French dip roast beef sandwiches. Had a glass of red wine. Nice. Don't remember what I was reading last time, but I'm currently rereading The House in the Cerulean Sea. Oh, let me see. That sounds familiar. Maybe that is what you were reading last time. Let me see. And if it wasn't you, someone was. Oh, yeah. Yep. I have that. That's what you were reading. Perfect. Let me see. What was I doing? I was trying to find the timer. Oh, yeah. And I never did fix this to show what the right book was. Oopsies. I woke up early, an hour and a half to get to work. To get to work, the school was being Christmas concert. Oh, that's fun. Christmas concert rehearsal. They dropped up to my cousins near DC, staying there for the holiday weekend. Nice. Hopefully you guys will get to do some fun, like touristy stuff. So that's exciting. Trying to think, let me see if I can look up the date for it. Let me see. White House Christmas tree 2025. Oh, it's next Thursday. I was gonna say you might be in town for the Christmas tree lighting that they do, but it's on Thursday, so you'll be gone by the time that happens. That's a bummer. That's always like a fun thing to do, and they have like different events happening around the Christmas tree lighting and stuff. But next time you'll have to come for the Christmas tree lighting. Oh no! Wait, what kind of work do you do, Jen? I just assumed. Also, are you in the U.S.? Maybe you're in Canada or something. I don't know. But I just assumed that like everything was closed on Thanksgiving. Like Thanksgiving and Christmas, I feel like are the 2 days out of the year that like everything's pretty much closed, except for like maybe the movie theater. I feel like that's like the only thing. Like if you work at the movie theater, or if you're like emergency services, like a nurse, not a doctor, but like a nurse or like EMS, police officer, stuff like that. Obviously, they have to work. I feel like everything else is closed. Just had a tough call with a super nasty customer. Oh no. See, yeah, no. Shut them down. Be like, I'm sorry. I don't have time for your attitude. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. Then that makes sense. That tracks. I was going to say, I feel like only like emergency services and like the movie theater is open. That tracks. You work in emergency services. Yeah, that's a bummer. I imagine though that this is probably not the first time that this has happened. I know like a lot of something. I think my brother has to work tomorrow too. That's because he works in a restaurant, so that also makes sense. I forgot. Yeah, I guess restaurant workers too would be having to work on Thanksgiving as well. Oops. Sorry to hear that, Bree. Customers can be a piece of work. I hope the rest of your shift goes by smoothly. Yeah. What time do you get off, Bree? I'm hoping that it's soon, like in the next 20, 30 minutes, maybe. And then you don't have to deal with that. How many of you guys are off for Friday too? I never had a job until the job that I have now where I was off on Black Friday. I've always had to work on Black Friday until this job. When I saw that, I was like, wait, we have off for Black Friday? They were like, yeah. I was like, really? It's unheard of. Yeah, hopefully it'll be a light day. Although speaking of the hospital just in general and Thanksgiving, One of the things that I heard on the radio, this was some years ago, so this statistic might not actually be accurate anymore. So, like, fact check me. But one of the things, let me switch this back over since I'm like talking. One of the things that I heard on the radio years ago, they were doing like I don't know if it was like a survey or a quiz or a test or something, and they were asking people, like, what holiday do you think has the most reported like DUI incidents? And most people, like, I think the number one answer was New Year's. And I think that that makes sense because people associate New Year's with like popping bottles and champagne and, you know, going out for New Year's and stuff like that. I think the number two was maybe like St. Patrick's Day. And then I think obviously St. Patrick's Day is associated with drinking. And then I think number three might have been, I think number four was Halloween. I'm trying to remember what number three was. Oh, I think number three was 4th of July. Because, you know, fireworks and cookouts and beer and stuff like that. But even though those were like the top four, like most common answers, none of those were correct. And Thanksgiving was actually the correct answer as far as which holiday has the most reported, like, not DUIs, I meant to say drunk driving incidents. So the highest number of drunk driving incidents typically happens on Thanksgiving. And people were really shocked by that. They were like, Thanksgiving? I was shocked too. I was like, that's strange. Like, why would Thanksgiving have more than, New Year's? But when they broke it down, they basically were saying that even though you would think it would be stuff like New Year's or whatever, people are less likely to drink as much on New Year's compared to Thanksgiving because of a lot of factors. Number one, I think that at the time that this survey happened, this was like maybe like, let's say 5 to 10 years ago. Like in the last 5 or 10 years is when this survey was done. So the people that they were talking to were people that were like our age or, you know, older or whatever like that. Maybe not too much older, but like kind of like people that were in like their 20s, 30s, you know, in the last like 5 to 10 years. And so our generation has had a lot more education when it comes to like being safe and drinking when you're out in public places. So people are less likely to get as drunk because we are more aware of things like people slipping things in your drink or people being abducted, you know, stuff like that. We're just more aware of that kind of stuff. So just in general, we don't typically drink as much when we go out compared to Thanksgiving usually is happening in what is considered a safe space. So usually you're either in your own house or you're at your mom's house, at your grandma's house, you know, at your cousin's house, like somewhere where you feel safe, somewhere where you don't feel like you have to like be worrying if someone's going to try to like snatch you up or put something in your drink or something. So because you're more relaxing and more comfortable in that environment, you tend to drink a lot more because you don't have to be as cautious. Also, pricing factors into it too, because when people go out, drinks can be expensive. So people don't typically drink as much when they go out because it costs more money to drink a lot when you go out versus when you're drinking at home, you know, buying a bottle of something is cheaper than buying like a cocktail at the bar. So you could spend the same amount of money and have way more drinks than what you would be able to do if you went like to the bar or a club or a party or something like that. So it's like when they broke it down, I was like, that actually does make a little bit more sense. And so because people are like more comfortable at home and they can spend less and drink more, and they're not worried about like what's going to happen to me, they kind of just get really careless with it. They drink too much and they're like, oh no, I'm fine. And then they try to drive home and then you have drunk driving incidents. So that is a little fun fact for you. Like I said, I don't know if that's still the case, but that was the case at some point. I don't remember when this happened, when I heard this whole story. Don't live in America. So, oh, that's a bummer. I'm sorry. Hello to Glenda. Work every other holiday. Just glad I have Christmas off this year. Yeah, my best friend is a travel nurse, so she very rarely has off for any holiday. She usually is always working for the holidays. So I was like, I'm sure this is not your first time having to go through this. Thank you, Mel. I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband, who's an experimenter. Oh, exterminator. I don't know why I said experimenter. He's an exterminator, has off until Monday. Nice. Yeah, same. work till 6:15, but we shut our phone lines off at 6. So as long as there's no calls waiting, I'm free at 6. Hey, let's go. Listening to No Ordinary Love. Oh, okay. By my area, I'm at 28%. Enjoying this one so far. Nice. Let's update. Let's see, what you were listening or reading Fortress of Ambrose last time. Did you finish that one? No Ordinary Love. Isn't that a Sade song? Or am I getting that mixed up with something else? Hello to Glenda. Probably because of family drama. People probably drinking to get through. That's also possible. People are like, oh, I have to go deal with my family. Oh, no. But no, they were saying this because people are more comfortable. They're not as cautious. They don't have to worry. A lot of times they're like, oh, like, I'm somewhere safe. Like I can let loose, I can be a little more free. I can drink more. And plus it's a lot cheaper to drink. I could take 5 shots for free because we have a whole bottle sitting here versus if I was at the club, each shot would be like $10. So I'm not spending $50 on shots. Yes. I did start early today. Hello, Jean. I definitely started early today because the Stranger Things premiere is tonight. So we will be getting out of here in about 2-ish hours. So we'll probably have enough time to do one more regular hour-long sprint. And then we'll probably have enough time to do a shorter sprint, either like a 30 or a 45. And then we're getting out of here so that the folks who are planning on watching the premiere, like I am, we are ready, sitting in front of the TV at 8 o'clock. Reading an article on written rules of magic. Ooh, that sounds fun. Let's see. Oh, I think I have that you were reading that last time. I do have that written down. Yep. Cool. Well, good to know that you're still working on that one. I was like, what's that noise? We were with those family members that yeah. Yep. Hello to Jean. Absolutely. Oh, that's good. Good. I'm glad. I have an arc for Unwritten Rules of Magic 2. How do you like it? Well, there you go. Absolutely loving it. You heard it here first. Oops. All right, let's switch this back over. I need to make sure that I'm sharing the right screen this time. Actually, I think I'll just share the same screen I was sharing before because normally on the second sprint, I would go make dinner, but I just realized that 1, I'm not hungry. 2, it's too early because it's not usually around this time. It will be like 7 because I would start at 6, but because I started at 4, it's not even 6 o'clock yet. So I'm like, I don't need to go make dinner yet. It's far too early for that. So I guess I'll just continue to play Catan until it gets a little bit later. I'll probably make dinner on whatever the last sprint is that we do. I'll make dinner during that sprint so that I am ready to eat when the show begins. My food is ready. I had a lull for 20%, but I've been speeding through yesterday and today. I'm currently at 63. Okay, there you go. At least you know what to expect from it. All right, let me reshare. Where is the Catan screen? There we go. Let's put that there. Minimize that. Minimize that. I'm so curious what will happen. They'll have to keep us posted. All right. We are going to jump into our next sprint. Let me update the banner. Oh, wait. One thing I need to do. Hold on. When I was playing, was the sound from the game? Could y'all hear that? I didn't even think about that till just now. Yeah, you guys can probably hear that. I didn't mean to make it so that you hear the sound effects and stuff from the game. That probably super annoying. So that's my bad. Let's see. Let's turn the sound effects off so that you don't have to hear that. There we go. And then we're going to update the timer to say 50. There we go. All right. I will see you guys back here. Oh, I thought that was about. I thought it was about a coven of witches, but I merged it with another book I got as an art. Oh, yes, it is. It's called Colonist technically, but it's the online version of Catan. So if you're looking to play and you want to be able to just play whenever you want, check out Colonist. It's become my new favorite thing. I think I found out about this maybe back in January or something. I can't remember how long I've been playing this, but ever since I discovered it, it's been great. All right, folks, I'll see y'all back here in an hour. Happy reading or whatever it is you're going to be doing. And we are back. How did everyone do? I feel like there's hair on my face or something. How did everyone do? How did that sprint go for everyone? I did not read at all during that sprint. I started off trying to activate my debit card. It's not really a debit card. It's like, so the health insurance that I have they like give you a preloaded card to use for like medical stuff, different from like your FSA and your HSA. It's something completely different that they just basically give you $200 to use towards like specific like medical expenses, whatever. So I was trying to activate the card. It's a long story that doesn't really matter, but I basically have like, I had a card already, but then they sent me another one. And so I'm not sure why they sent me another one because the old one wasn't expired. So now I have two. So I was trying to figure out like, are both of these things active or was the old one deactivated? And if so, why was it deactivated? So many questions, got zero answers. So that was what I did during the beginning of that sprint. And then I ended up, I think I played Catan, right? I can't remember. I think I played Catan. But that game was super boring. I was like not really paying attention. And I was watching videos on my phone. And I've just been watching different interviews and like stuff from the press junket that the cast of Stranger Things has been doing this week, in preparation for the premiere tonight. But I watched his name is Max something. I forget what his name is, but he has interviewed there was a clip that went like kind of viral of him interviewing Millie like back when season 4 came out, I think. And so he's interviewing all of them again this year. And the way that Millie and Noah are when they're together, so funny. They're so funny together. They're like, their relationship is like, it's like you love it and you hate it at the same time because they're just so in sync. And you can tell that they're like speaking without speaking. It's one of those things. It's like, love that relationship. Love that for them. But yeah, I just been watching a bunch of videos of them doing like interviews and stuff. Like Joe Keery is hilarious. Like they're all really funny, honestly. They're all really funny, especially when they're like together. And it's interesting seeing how they like play off of each other. That's also funny and fun to watch. So that's basically what I did for the rest of the sprint, was just watch interviews that they've been doing this week. And it's extremely entertaining. I'm sure there's like 5 more already like lined up waiting for me to watch once I go back into a sprint. So we'll see if this next sprint, if I actually end up reading anything or if I just watch more videos or if I try to like split my time and do a little bit of both. We'll see. Actually, now that I'm looking at the time, we're probably only going to have enough time to do one more sprint. We'll do like one more 45-minute one because if we do an hour one, I just got an email. If we do an hour-long one, then we'll get done. If we went to an hour-long sprint right now, we would only have like 7 minutes before the show starts. And I need more time than that to prepare. I have to like shut down, because I'm not watching it, in my desk. I'm going to be watching it, in a different room. So I got to get, set up and everything. Also have to make dinner. So I'll probably make dinner during this sprint. So maybe I will actually read a little bit because I'll probably be listening to the audiobook for Good Omens while I'm cooking. So perhaps I will get a little bit of reading done. But probably not much. If I'm being honest, probably not much. But yeah, that's how my sprint went. Just got distracted watching videos and attempting to get my card situated, which, like I said, that didn't happen. I got no answers, so I still have no idea what's going on with that. Let me see. Where did I leave off? I think we left off here. They were talking about Catan because Jean was asking if that's what I was playing. And Bree said, "Now got me hooked, and now I play it almost every day as a little decompression ritual after work." Same. That's usually like what I do. Like I will turn on like a show or something, and then I'll be like playing Catan. So like the show is just kind of like in the background. If it's something that like I'm not gonna play Catan while I'm watching Stranger Things, right? But like if I'm watching, like sometimes when I'm watching like the Dimension 20 stuff, I'll be playing Catan like while I'm listening to them do their D&D stuff. Speaking of D&D stuff, I did not understand anything about D&D until last month when we did Fabelin. And I did Fabelin last year. I was a co-host last year, but still didn't understand anything D&D related. Didn't understand it. But because we've been watching Dimension 20, doing the watch along for Fabelin, that helped me understand like how the game works and all the different things, whatever. So like I actually understand it. So now that I went back and did my rewatch of Stranger Things is basically one big D&D game. Why didn't anybody tell me this? Like, what the heck? There's a lot of like references to D&D, obviously. Like, I knew that. I knew like the pilot episode, it starts off of them playing D&D. So like I knew that they were playing D&D, but none of the stuff that they like say about it, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't mean anything. It just kind of went over my head. Like there's a scene in season 4 when the basketball boys are like trying to attack Lucas and Erica. Like this is at the end of season 4 when they're like, you know, doing their big plan or whatever to try to stop Vecna. And the basketball boys like show up at the house and Lucas and that boy are like fighting, whatever. There's a scene where the one boy is like trying to like tackle Erica. And she like hits, I don't know if she punched him or if she like kneed him in the balls or something like that. But she screams out like crit hit. And I was like, when I watched it the first time, I was like, I don't know what that means. But now I understand what that means. I'm like, oh, that was a good one. So it's like, there's just so many references to D&D that I just completely missed the first time watching this show. So now that I've rewatched it, it's like all of that stuff now makes so much sense. And there are a lot of like references. I'm like, that was funny. But then like overall, like the show kind of functions very similar to D&D. And then I was reading a Reddit thread that was talking about the fact that like Stranger Things is just one big D&D game. And somebody in the comments was like, life is just one big D&D game. And I was like, you know what? You're not all the way wrong. Hello, Lachette. How are you? Welcome in. Yes, starting early this week. We'll also be doing the same thing for New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve, I also get early release from work. And New Year's Eve is when the final episode of season 5 for Stranger Things releases. So it'll be the same thing that we did today, where we'll start at 4 and we'll go from like 4 to 7 something and then get out of here in time to be able to watch the final episode. I got to 27%, but it's time for bed, so I'm logging off. Well, I'm glad that you got to 27%. Have a wonderful night. Sleep well. Listening to the Book of Azrael, making small Thanksgiving dinner for me and my parents. Oh, nice. I've heard of this, the Book of Azrael. Why have I heard of that? Why does that sound familiar? That book sounds really familiar for some reason, but I don't know why. I don't know if somebody's like doing like a read along or a buddy read, or I don't know why this book is like ringing a bell for some reason. Let's see. Did you finish Blackthorn? Let's see. The book of Azrael. Next part, I'm going to eat and finish packing for my trip. Very nice. Good to know. I didn't know. It never even really dawned on me. Like, I will be honest. The very first time I watched season 1, which was back when it came out in 2016, I didn't know what D&D was. The phrase D&D is something that I've heard, but it didn't mean anything to me. It would be like if I said, like, I don't know, suitcase pancake, and you're just like, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. So that's kind of how D&D was back then. But then when they got to season 4, and they actually kind of like showed them like playing. I mean, they showed them playing in season 1, but like I didn't know what these kids were doing. Like, what are these kids doing with these dice, talking about fireballs? Like, what are y'all talking about? But when they got to season 4 and they actually were like showing them like play, like they had like the Hellfire Club and like Eddie and all that kind of stuff or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, like this is D&D. I'm like, okay. Still didn't really mean anything at the time, but yeah, now that I actually understand how D&D works, going back and rewatching it, I'm just like, oh. I've never played myself, but I think I'm just old enough to have watched it slowly sink into all. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't think that up until, I'm going to say maybe the last, let's say 2 years of my life, I've never known anyone or like been friends with anyone that played D&D. So it was something that I never had exposure to it until Stranger Things. So, like I say, even then, I didn't really know what I was looking at. So, if it wasn't for Margaret introducing me to Dimension 20, I would still be in the dark and have no idea what's going on. So, Margaret really changed the game for me when it comes to D&D, and also my understanding of a lot of those little like references and things that are happening in Stranger Things. When you realize how almost every game, especially video games, is a spin on D&D, or how so many references and songs. Oh, really? I don't think I've noticed any references to songs or TV shows, but video games for sure. I've definitely noticed that for sure. It's wild. I want to play so bad. I'm like, somebody put together a campaign so that I can live out my fantasy of playing D&D. I didn't know anyone who played until college, but I heard of it. D&D is all over internet culture too, yeah. And I honestly think, especially like in more recent years, I do think that Stranger Things has a lot to do with why D&D has kind of integrated itself, or not integrated, but like kind of like resurfaced and become a little more mainstream. D&D obviously has been around for decades, but I think that it has made its way into like pop culture in more recent years, and I think Stranger Things has a lot to do with that. Because people love Stranger Things. So Stranger Things kind of like made it like brought it back to the forefront of people's minds. And it also kind of like made it cool. Not really, but you know what I mean. Finished Blackthorn, gave it 4 stars. Unhinged in the best way possible. Had a blast. Okay, nice. Excellent. All right, let me get our timer pulled back up. Like I said, we'll do a 45. Let me see. Let's change this. There we go. Reset. Actually, let's do a 30. Because I need time to like shut everything down in here and start everything in the other room. And if I'm only giving myself a 15-minute window to close out these sprints and do all of that, it won't happen. I won't be done in time. So, why is this not working? Okay, there we go. Go down the wiki rabbit hole. You'll see certain campaigns have become their own culture. Oh, really? Interesting. I also didn't know that the characters, I don't know if that's the right word to use, but like Vecna or like the Demogorgon, like I didn't realize that those were actual things from D&D. I thought that they were like inspired by, if that makes sense. But I think Vecna is like an actual like character or villain or whatever it's called in D&D, and I did not know that until recently. Same thing of like the Demogorgon and stuff like that. I thought that was all like made up stuff that they made up for the show. I didn't realize that it was like based on like the real game. Took a shower, read about 20 pages while I diamond painted. Nice. Prepping for tomorrow. So tired already. Oh no. Well, hopefully you're able to get your prepping done soon so that you can just go to sleep and knock out and rest for the rest of the evening. All right, let's switch us over to, is it this one? Nope. There we go. All right, I will see you all back here in 30 minutes. Happy reading, winding down, or whatever it is you're going to be doing for the next 30 minutes. And we are back. How did that final sprint go for everyone? What did you guys get up to during that last sprint? I have my food prepped, so it just needs to go in the oven, and it should be done in like 20 minutes. So we're good to go there. I did listen to more of this book. So I think I was at like 13% at the start of the sprint. And I'm now at 19%. So I read 6% or listened to 6% while I was getting dinner and everything situated. Where's my mouse? There we go. Let me see. Where did I think we left off here? Jamie said, keep me some the chatty bits. I'm going to say goodnight. Thanks for the swings. You're welcome. Yes. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone who is celebrating. Hope you guys have a great holiday. Eat lots of food and stay safe on the roads. Enjoy Stranger Things. I'm heading into the last 2 episodes of season 4. Then it's on to the new episodes. I'm so excited, Jamie. So excited for you. Can't wait to hear your thoughts next week when we talk. If I don't see you before then, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on what you think about the first drop of season 5. Have a wonderful night. Hello, Chris. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. Yes, you as well. Thank you so much. Hello, and thank you to Jamie. You're welcome, Glenda. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys next week's normal time, our normal time, so 6 p.m. Eastern next week. But like I said, December 31st, we will be doing the same thing that we did today, which is starting 2 hours early. But until then, we're back to our regularly scheduled programming, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time. You're welcome, Lachette. Yes, I will. I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. I mean, maybe you do have an idea. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. It's finally here. Can't believe it's finally here. I'm ready to have my heart ripped out. I think that's what I'm ready for. But yeah, have a wonderful Thanksgiving to those of you who are celebrating. If you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, have a wonderful just rest of your week. I will see you guys back here our normal time next Wednesday for more Wind Down Wednesday. Stay safe out there, eat lots of food, and have a great week. Bye.
Ah, 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 ah.